Happy Mother's Day, Dottie. What are you doing to celebrate? You want some corn? Does that sound good? Did you say Happy Mother's Day? Welcome back to Farming with Family. We are going to spray today. The wind's calm enough, the fields are dry enough. We're going to get my beans that I had planted sprayed before they come up. And then we'll see what else we can get done today. Got to get the corn planter out to start planting corn tomorrow is the plan. Filling some Roundup. Made it down here with the tractor. Just checking to see if anything's emerged. Not yet, but they're on their way. They're looking good. This field should be just right to spray. As you can see, it's just about the right time to spray. There's a few little tiny weeds coming. We're gonna get them zapped. And then the pre-emergence will keep more from coming for a certain amount of days so the field stays clean. So let's get spraying. We're spraying. Everything seems to be working good. Still kind of bouncy. That's okay, we'll get it done. I stopped at home, got a little bit more water and chemical. Used a little bit more than I thought, but we're gonna go up to the 40 and we're gonna get that field done. Then eat a little lunch and it'll be time to get the corn planter out. Just double check everything is ready to go on that and hopefully plant corn tomorrow. Okay, number 145, you're missing your tag. Don't know where you are, but I got it for you. Got the land sprayed that I wanted to before the beans came up. Got some jugs to clean up and burn, dispose of. Now I'm gonna have a little lunch and then get the corn planter out. And look what we got. The agriculture teacher hatched out some chicks at school. Out of 18 eggs, they got 16 chicks, so that's a super good percentage. Just got them this morning. They seem to be doing well. We got their heat lamp over here. They're hot, then get cool over here. So we'll see how these ones grow. We'll have some more roosters to butcher this fall, and looks like they're gonna be some really cool markings on them. What do you know, it's looking like a planter again. After being all ripped apart. Got all the boxes back on. Got to put my two little ones in the back that I use for toolboxes. The old insecticide boxes. Now I'm gonna get it up to the front and keep working on the rest of the stuff. I gotta check the tires, make sure all the air pressure is good. I'm gonna put water in the tanks, see if there's any leaks that started. And yeah, we'll see what else I can find to do. Okay, Vaughn, where are we going? To the field with the corn planter. We finally got everything buttoned up with the corn planter, put back together. We're heading to the field. We're gonna see if we can get some done this afternoon. I got the guy that helped me with my precision stuff that's coming to help me get everything dialed in so I know how to use the monitor properly and that everything's seating like it's supposed to. And then I'll be on my own and we'll keep going from there. Vaughn, are you excited for the first day of corn planting?
Yeah.
How many acres should we get done today?
25.
Only 25?
100.
How about closer to 100? That sounds good to me.
100.
It's getting real. We're putting fertilizer in. Vaughn's getting all the lids popped off. Don't know how to do that. Gonna start putting some corn seed in. Fertilizer's going in. Making things happen. All right, that only took all afternoon to get the planter dialed in. Had a few fertilizer leaks that weren't there last year that we had to run up to town and get some new fittings. And getting the seed depth adjusted. Since last year I had springs, this year I have downforce, and I was planting like, when I first started it was like over 3 to 3.5 inches deep, which is way too deep for corn. But with the springs, I was happy if I got 2, so we had to back those off, messed around with the population to get it set where I want it. Working on getting my ground contact as close to 100% as I can, and the margin as low as I can. The margin just means that there's too much pressure. So I think he said like less than 50 or so is okay. So it's kind of high right now, but we're also in a lower area of the field, so the ground's soft, so it's, you know, pushing it in. So the air compressor will let air off. See now the margin's down lower. It's let off that air, so the ground contact or the margin isn't so high. And it doesn't think that I am awake because I've been going half mile. You just gotta hit okay. Wants to make sure you're not asleep. But this is my first round. I just gotta do this end, then I can go back and forth for a while. Hopefully get this field done tonight and call it good at 65 acres or so. Looks like the rain's gonna hold off tomorrow for a little bit, so we will work on this. Well, getting some progress done. I had to adjust a couple rows. Number 2, I had to bring up a little bit because it was planting too deep. And a little trick, when you come to the end, if you drive and stop, there'll be a few seeds right in here that don't get closed up. So if you look down in here, where did I find one? You can kind of see them, and you don't have to dig so much. Now I'll make myself, there is one. Right there. So I put this little deal in. Look how deep it is. And I'm right around, well, you can't really see it from that angle, but right about a little over 2 inches, so that's perfect. Then number 12, I had to go just a little bit deeper because it was just about 2 inches, so I put it down a little bit more into the ground. But got to go over to that rock pile right there. Getting closer to being done with the long part of the field, then I got a slough over there, so I got to go back and forth here, back and forth there, and back and forth over there. So it goes fast, but it's just a lot of turning. But we'll keep on going. Another day. Didn't quite get the field done because I had a little bit more to go and didn't have enough seed corn, so getting some more, putting it in the Suburban just in case it rains, and it'll be up protected so it doesn't get wet. It's supposed to rain maybe around 3 o'clock. It's about 8:30 now, so I'm gonna get this field done. I got the tractor hooked up, but warming up. I'm gonna put the disc on that and go disc a few of the lows on the next field I'm going to. The whole field is pretty dry, but there's just one low spot that it kind of seeps way out. So I'm gonna take the disc, get that fluffed up so I can plant a little closer to there before it rains, hopefully. And that's my workout for the morning. Got 32 bags in here, enough to fill the planter twice. Should be about as much as we get done today, I'd imagine. So we'll get the disc hooked up now. Here's the chick, one of the chicks that we got. How's it doing?
Good.
Likes its little home?
Mm-hmm.
You excited for them to grow up and get bigger?
Yeah.
Start laying eggs?
Yep.
Yeah. The disc is all hooked up. Vaughn's gonna follow me to the field so I can leave this up there and drive the 4-wheeler back. It's about 3 miles away. Gonna head out. It's getting a little bit soft, but we're getting her worked up. Every acre planted is another few dollars in the pocket, or to the banker, or whoever wants it. Got that little spot worked up. There's an old stock dam there and it flows out through here. Sometime I should try to just block that up so it doesn't overflow this way. But a couple years ago I got corn planted in that low and it yielded the best out of the whole field. So that's why I go and scratch around and try to get planted into those lower areas because they yield so well if you can just get them planted. Worked out pretty good. Time to go start planting corn again. Make it a lot easier to plant, not going around all that water. All right, this field's all tilled in the wet spots. I almost got stuck lifted up, spun my way out of it. It's nice to have a little extra horsepower. And we made it. Time to go keep planting corn. I think it got a little bit sticky. Sticky situation. But we didn't get stuck. All right, first 75-ish acres are done. Time to go to the next field. Hopefully it's dry enough where I just worked it. We're in the next field. This is where I was just working this morning, like 2-3 hours ago. This is all smeary on top, but now it's, you know, it's still a little bit wet, but the top is drier. We'll go down here further. We'll see how close we dare get. And even just having this little bit of dryness on top, I can plant it into this and it's not like gumbo mud. So I think we'll be able to plant all the way over to here. Not bad. So now we can plant all of this, or otherwise we would have to stay way out there. If you can get this planted, and as long as it doesn't get flooded, it'll grow nice corn. See, this is what it was. I missed a little spot. You see, it's all gummy right here. This is where I tilled, and it's dried out a little bit. Sometimes taking a little extra time, an extra hour, you can plant a whole lot more. Glad I saw this instead of going through a tire. Tires don't handle them very well, in case you're wondering. Yeah, we're gonna stay out of there. I made one pass through with the disc, and it was a little bit boggy. I don't feel like unplugging the corn planter. Here's another example of why a half-hour tillage can get stuff nice and dried out. Right where that last row unit was, that was almost, well, it wasn't standing water, but it was smeary mud. And now it's dry enough that my row cleaners aren't even getting mud kicked on them bad. So, otherwise, that'd be a whole planter width over for how wet this was this morning. Who's that cutie driving down the road? All right, we're done with this field. Gonna head home, get some fuel, see where the rain is. And we did 80, it says 88, but it's right around 85 acres. There's a little bit of overlap in spots. But did that, got about 75 from the other field, so we're sitting pretty good and coming right along. Planning to get more of this old barn today. Make a nice fire. Made it up to our next field. David's been doing some disking. He is right over there. Along the ends where it's been kind of wet in the lows, waterways. So we're gonna go take the four-wheeler and drive around and see if it's dry enough overall to start planting, or if it's only spots here and there that are dry enough. So we're gonna go check that. We checked over the field and checked in with David. Where he's worked, it's, you know, it's drying out good, but the north half over there, I would say of that north half, probably a third to a half of it needs to be worked up, because any little spot where there's a depression in the field, or kind of like a bowl, that's a little bit on the wet side, and it's wet from the top down. Not like you're gonna sink in and get stuck wet, but when you put the seed in, it's gonna mud it in, and it's gonna pack it too much, and it's just not gonna emerge properly, and you're just asking for issues. So he's gonna keep working over there, and then he's gonna keep working his way this way to the south. There's a few more spots over here that need to be either hit again because they've dried out some. Then you can kind of get a little bit closer to the water areas. And then there's also some spots that they just didn't look like they should be wet, but they are. So he's gonna keep going. We're gonna head home and get a few things done around the house. We haven't mowed lawn yet, and it's middle of May, and our lawn is about a foot tall. So that's what seems to happen in the spring. We get the things done that pay the bills, and mowing lawn usually comes a little bit later. Start of another day of planting. David's been working this field, like we said yesterday. We ended up having to just kind of, it'll be dry for 20 feet, wet for 100 feet, dry, and it just goes back and forth. So he's just lightly doing the whole field. He's got the tractor going over there. I think he's planning to make a left turn at some time. Wonder if he notices that. Maybe we'll have to tell him. But got all this going. We got some seed in there still. So we'll plant for a little while. Still got some fertilizer. So we'll plant for a little while, get the field all opened up, and then we'll come and fill. Yeah, still got a decent amount of seed in there. I don't like to get these seed boxes too full, just in case you hit a bump like this one, pop the cap off. It kind of broke. These are old seed boxes, but it kind of broke where the tabs go. So until I get a new seed box to switch it out, put a strap over it. But we're gonna keep on going. Well, today is kind of the struggle bus day, it seems like. We disposed all this field. David's working on the rest. It's dry on top, like the top, inch and a half, 2 inches is dry enough. But then last year I put some coulters on the front of the planter to kind of loosen the soil, and they seem to be pulling up mud from lower, because I think they're going in probably like 3 inches. They're pulling in mud that hasn't dried out, and then it's getting on the gauge wheels, it's getting on the closing wheels. It's kind of creating a mess. So I'm going to take off these coulter discs. They're like a wavy disc, and it's pretty easy. It's just a couple bolts. I think I brought my impact, but if not, it's a good old combination wrench for the win. So we're going to do that. Then we're going to back up my trash wipes, because those seem to be digging in as well. This ground is nice and soft now, so it's not like I need them to really move a lot of trash. So that's what we're up against today. We're going to change those things and see if it makes any difference. Alright, I think we got all the planter stuff figured out. Like I said, we took off all the coulters. Now it's really not digging in the mud anymore, and it seems like it's putting it in the proper spot in the seed bed. And it's 4:30, which means it must be a good time for lunch. It's not late, if you call it supper, I guess. But now we're actually getting something done. So I came back, said this row wasn't seeding, and it was out of seed. What had happened is we had hit a rock, it just filled. It had bounced the row unit up, cracked my box, threw the lid off, threw a little bit of seed out, so it's always been lower. So I went to all these rows, stole part of a bucket out of there, make them all about the same. So when I fill these, I only put in one bag. They're like a bag and a half. They can fit a bag and a half, but I only do one bag just for that exact reason. If you hit a rock, have the lid fly off and you don't see it, you can spill a bunch of seed, or you lose the lid or whatever. So you have to fill a little bit more often, but that's okay with me. I'd rather not lose seed. Well, apparently there's some severe thunderstorms to the north of us. But either that's dust or that doesn't look very good. I'm calling it a night anyways, but that looks like an interesting horizon. That is some nasty wind. It's not quite as bad here with the corn stubble field, but man, the bean stubble field, holy cow. I about couldn't see from the tractor to the Suburban. I really hope there's not some high straight line winds or tornadoes in the area, because that would not be fun. Well, we got some rain last night, got about 20 hundreds, and I have like 80 acres left of corn to plant, then I'm all done for the year. But it's the 20th of May, so I'm stopping at my bean field that I planted back on the 25th of April, and we're gonna check and see what's coming up. Well, look at them. They're starting to get out of the ground. This is kind of the area where I drive, so it can be kind of hard here. So some of them are still probably emerging. Back here where it's a little bit softer, here they come. That's awesome. I'm sure there's more that are probably coming through. If you dig down, there should be some more down here, but this is also where I turned, so they could have gotten a little bit disturbed. But yeah, they're coming up. That's exciting. Oh Lord, there's a fire.
Here, honey. I knew that you liked it.
What do you got, buddy?
A new calf.
Yeah, is this going to be your cow that you're going to raise?
Yeah.
It's a little heifer calf that we got for Vaughn this morning.
Yeah.
Did you pay for it with all your own money?
Yes.
And you're going to raise it up to be a cow?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll get a pen set up for her outside with a little calf hutch. Got her in the barn for now until we do that. She is nice and hungry for her breakfast. All right, we're done with our second to last field. We got the 80 across the road from our place, so we're gonna head there. We're full of all sorts of stuff. We had a couple 4 bags of corn that I had extra in the Suburban, and instead of coming back to get that, we'll bring that with us. Got our lunchbox, got our seed lubricant. 2 people are kind of squished in here. Not too bad. Heading home now. We are doing our darndest to get corn planting finished up. We're on our last 80 here. What we just got to experience was finally taking off the forks that held the coulter wheels. I took those coulter wheels off because they were just digging up too much mud. Well, the fork sticks too low to the ground, so if there's any trash or rock, that would get caught in there. And then it would start pushing the trash and clog up the road, make a big old furrow in the ground. And I was having to stop probably like 2 times each pass just to go and clog them or lift up or whatever. So we took an hour and got all those taken off, and now I just have my road cleaners or my trash wipes like I used to have, and it's working much better. I haven't had to stop once. It shouldn't plug at all, shouldn't dig anymore. So, but this ground is doing pretty good. It's not too wet. Everything's working well. Auto steer's working. I think we finally have all the bugs out of it. Filled up for hopefully the last time. I just did half bags this time. I think I got probably 25 acres left. I think I got the best wife in the world. Didn't even ask for anything to eat, and she called me and offered to bring me some supper, so that's awesome. Vaughn's conked out down there. Nice little jostle to keep him sleeping. We're gonna get it done. Got that much to go. A few little short sections. I did not get done planting last night. I had one of my rows plug up, and I thought there was a disc scraper that was broken. Didn't really feel like doing it at midnight in the dark, so waited till this morning, and it turned out it was just, there's a worn part, but it was nothing really. Just had gone through some mud apparently. But doing the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 passes on this, just a little short over to those trees. So just about done with corn. Had an issue with one of the shut-off solenoids. I can shut half my planter off at a time, and the one was stuck in planting all the time, whether I lift it up or set it down. So we got that figured out. Now we're just going to finish up corn, then we'll get switched over to soybeans. Corn planter down for the last time. Last pass of planting corn. It's a good feeling.